Please be seated. I want to welcome everyone to the auspicious occasion of Agatha and Ray's wedding. This is our chuppah, our canopy under which we will perform the ceremony, and I would ask you to please step under the chuppah with me. You'll notice that it is open on all sides, like our ancestors and our patriarchs, like Abraham when he greeted guests. It was open on all sides. It allows you not only to see the beautiful. Men usually do not sit over coffee talking about their marriages. That's why the conversation was so unusual for the three brothers, David, Jacob, and Brandon Bob. They were discussing the joys of wedded life. The youngest, Jacob, said, "I love my wife. That's why I do everything she directs me to do. She says, please dust the furniture, and right away, I dust the furniture." All agreed that Jacob loved his wife. Not to be outdone, David said, "I also do everything that my wife asks me to do. In fact, she doesn't even have to spell it out, what she expects. It's enough that she says, 'Look at this dust,' and for me to understand that she expects me to dust, which of course I do." All agreed that David also truly loved his wife. But in the end, it turned out that Brandon's marriage topped them all. His wife did not have to ask him to do things for her. She didn't even have to drop a hint. "I wake up in the morning," explained Brandon, "and we just connect. I sense what she needs from me, and I do it." Similarly, Agatha and Raymond, your marriage will be a blend of directions, of expectations, and of connections. The first two precepts are perhaps the most apparent. With your marriage certificate and your vows, soon to be recited, comes the directions which are explicit in the commitments you're going to make to each other. The expectations are those that are implied in your roles as husband and wife. But perhaps the most pivotal will be those connections, the customs, the habits, the intimacies that will grow with your love for each other and provide the greatest pleasure to each other. And in these moments will lie the greatest joy of your marriage. As Ray and Agatha enter this union, let us pray that they too seek to direct, to expect, and connect, and connect, and connect. We rejoice that Agatha and Raymond join in marriage in the presence of God and love Him. Mi adir hakol, mi baruch hakol, mi gadol hakol, yivarech hachatan v'chachala. O awesome, glorious, and blessed God, grant your blessings to the bride and groom. Surrounded by loved ones whose joy and prayers are with you here, you stand under this chuppah, under this canopy, symbol of the home you are to make. May your home be a shelter against the storm, a haven of peace, a stronghold of faith and love. We have a prayer of gratitude that we say in Hebrew that points out three important facets of life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyimanu, v'hidyanu lazman hazeh. Praise you, our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, who sustained us, and brought us to this occasion. In this union, the sacred work of creation goes on. God joining man and woman, God planting the divine likeness within them. Man and woman were created in the divine image. Male and female God created them. May the union of Ray and Agatha animate the divine in each of them, and may each help the other to grow in God's likeness. The wedding ceremony is actually broken up into two components: the betrothal, or the Kiddushin, the sanctification of the wedding, and the nuptials. The Kiddushin, or the betrothal, is your commitments to one another. The break of this is because in ancient days, the way the wedding was arranged is that the groom would barter with the bride's parents. They'd reach some decision, and there was usually a year between the commitments and the actual finishing of the vows. What we will do today is break our ceremony into two parts as well, with a much shorter interlude between those two. But like any sanctification, we begin with a blessing over wine. The wine is symbolic of sanctification. The story is told that when Noah exited the ark, he brought with him a grapevine and planted that, and that gave significance to hope for all mankind. Of course, if you read Noah a little further, you found out he then proceeded to get drunk, whatever that may be. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, for this fruit of the vine. I ask you each sip from the cup. Before we move into the formal ring ceremony, I believe Eva, please join us, has something to say. This part of the ceremony, the ring ceremony, is called the Hareat. Spelled in Hebrew, it has 32 letters. If you take the first letter of each of the two words, it stands for the Hebrew for love. So it's very, very appropriate. What we will do here is repeat some blessings that I'll ask you to join me in momentarily, and then I believe you guys have vows to say to each other. We praise you, God, our ruler of the universe, who has hallowed us with his commandments and consecrates this marriage. We praise you, our God, who sanctifies our people and who through this holiness sanctifies the ritual of marriage under this chuppah. And now I ask you in the presence of God in this assembly, do you, Agatha, take Raymond to be your husband, to love and to honor and to cherish? And do you, Raymond, take Agatha to be your wife, to love and to honor and to cherish? Agatha and Raymond, you will now speak the words, and we will then exchange rings that make you husband and wife. At this stage, I would ask you to recite your vows to one another.
enter into this new and exciting time in our lives, I make you this vow. I pledge to love and support you in everything that you do. I will always keep my promises to you, and I will do my best to finish everything on your rich please-do list. I promise to stand by you every day and be supportive of you and your friends, no matter how much sleep I've gotten the night before. I will never end the day without first alleviating your worries and concerns. If problems arise, I will always listen and do my best to be supportive and avoid placing blame. Above all else, I will forever care for you and hold you above all others. On this wonderful day, I am overcome with joy as we face our future together.
Now do the formal ring ceremony. This ring is a solid band. It represents Shalamut. It represents wholeness, which this marriage will tend to reflect. As you exchange the rings that make you man and wife, I ask that you place the ring on the one you love, and then recite after me the words that will formally unite you in marriage. I'll do the Hebrew and slowly, and you'll repeat that in the English way, okay? Hareat,
Hareat,
Lakud Deshet,
Deshet,
Li, B'ta Ba'at,
B'ta Ba'at,
Zo,
Zo,
Kadat,
Kedat,
Moshe,
Moshe,
Yisrael.
Israel.
Be consecrated to me
Consecrated to me,
with this ring as my wife,
this ring as my wife,
in keeping in the heritage
in keeping in the heritage
of our patriarchs and our matriarchs.
of our patriarchs and our matriarchs.
You'll repeat after me first. Hareat,
Hareat,
Lakud Deshet,
Lakud Deshet,
Li, B'ta Ba'at,
B'ta Ba'at,
Zo, Kadat,
Kedat,
Moshe,
Moshe,
Yisrael.
Israel.
Be wedded to me
Be wedded to me
with this ring
with this ring
as my husband, in keeping
in keeping
of the traditions
of the traditions
of our matriarchs
of our matriarchs
and our
and
patriarchs.
our patriarchs.
This legalizes the vows you've now committed to each other. The rest that we do is tradition and custom in our ceremony. And we will now move from the betrothal to the nuptials, but I promised you we would have a short break. So, I have a short comment to make. When given the occasion, I like to relate significant occasions. When given the opportunity, I like to relate significant occasions to that portion of our weekly Torah reading, our weekly Bible reading that is read. In our tradition, you read a chapter a week, and when you're done at the end of the year, you start again. So it again has this whole